Hello and welcome to the Musical Instrument Investigator. Today we're on the website of Bonhams Auctioneers based in the UK, and we're going to have a look at one interesting item in particular which is coming up on their rock, pop and film auction, which is finishing on the 12th of June. It's the 10th today, so a couple of days left to go. I will put a link to this particular item in the description of the video. So this is a guitar that was once owned by Eric Clapton. It is a Martin flat top acoustic, and this particular guitar he used to write the famous ballad Wonderful Tonight, which was his love song to Pattie Boyd. So this is quite an interesting guitar with obviously a fantastic provenance and the value to match. So this particular Martin is what I personally would call a treble O 28. Other people might call it a triple O 28, or some people would call it like a treble zero or a triple zero 28. And in reality, it is zeros. But for me, I think I always grew up calling it a treble O. But whatever you want to call it, it's that is the model that is up for auction, and it's £300,000 to £400,000 is the estimate, and this is happening in London in Knightsbridge, this sale. Interesting to note that the buyer's premium on this sale I think starts at like 28% for the first 40,000, and then the next 40,000 to like 800,000 is 27%. So that's a really high kind of buyer's premium that you have to pay on top of this. So it's going to be an expensive item, whatever it sells for, so be curious to see what happens. There's lots of blurb and stuff here. I'm going to try and keep it short as possible. I will read through some of it, but this is not going to be a super long video. I just thought maybe it'd be nice just to have a look at a few pictures of this first, because I thought it would be of interest to people. So let's kind of flick through these. Some really nice arty shots there, and I'm sure we're going to see a few images of Eric Clapton playing this as well. Interesting kind of sticker on the side here. She's in love with a rodeo man, and I think there's an explanation about this sticker in the blurb. There's the man himself. So lots of pictures and lots of provenance here. Eric Clapton Slowhand album there, which you think we can see the track list here. Wonderful Tonight there. So quite an important record in an important song. Let's picture the case there. Got really good quality images, I guess, as you would hope for an item with nearly £500,000 estimate on it, and a prestigious kind of item. Lots and lots of images there. So yeah, I just thought it'd be interesting to flag this up for anyone that's really a fan of Eric Clapton. If you are, someone that's a fan of Eric Clapton and you've made it big in, whatever, finance, or you won the lottery or something, whatever, inheritance, this might be of interest to you. For all of us other people, I think we can just only look and admire this kind of wonderful piece of history. So, as a final kind of thing, just going to read through the blurb and see what they say about it. So obviously Eric Clapton, Martin, treble O 28, treble zero 28, whatever you want to call it, flat top acoustic guitar used by Clapton to compose the timeless ballad Wonderful Tonight in his song to Pattie Boyd 1974. So serial number is 353275, impressed into the neck block. Natural finish, bound body with spruce top and Indian rosewood back and sides. Black scratch plate, sound hole with a rosette and fitted with Fishman rare earth pickup. Ebony bridge with black dot pins. 3 saddles and snowflake inlay. Interior with remnant of wiring believed from a piezo undersaddle pickup fitted in the 1970s. 1/4-inch jack socket, mahogany neck, ebony fingerboard with dot markers, headstock with 3 aside Grover tuners and cigarette burns to finish. A large white bumper sticker to the upper bout side with the blue lettering reading She's in Love with a Rodeo Man, together with a Martin-shaped grey hardshell case stenciled in white Eric Clapton, Group Tulsa, Oakler, delicate electronic instrument, handle with care, blue plush lining, with Guitar Tech Lee Dixon's handwritten label, Martin, treble O 28, Rodeo Man 353275, guitar 39, half inches, 99.8 centimeters long. So there you go, that's that bit. Foot nose from Eric Clapton himself. It was a working instrument and probably my best friend at the time. Okay, that's interesting. So Eric Clapton acquired this guitar in the mid-1970s, and it soon became his favourite acoustic for both stage and studio work in that decade. Quickly becoming his primary guitar, he is quoted as saying, "This was a touring hotel room guitar, and I played it on stage during the 1970s. It was a working instrument and probably my best friend at the time. It is a Treble 28, the basic model without any inlay. It very much suited my way of looking at the world at that point." Clapton used the guitar to compose a number of songs, including the Angelus anthem "Wonderful Tonight," inspired by his then girlfriend, muse and wife-to-be Pattie Boyd. The song is considered by many to be amongst the greatest love songs of all time, and has become a musical feature of countless life events such as proms, weddings, funerals, and personal life milestones. Pattie Boyd, in her autobiography Wonderful Today, recounts that one day they were due to go out. I was taking a very long time to do my makeup and hair, putting on one dress, then another and another, throwing them all in a pile on the floor. Poor Eric had been ready for hours and was waiting patiently. While he waited for me, he was in the sitting room, fiddling with his guitar. When she was finally ready and asked if she looked all right, Eric responded by singing the words of the song he was working on at the time. It's late in the evening. She's wondering what clothes to wear. She puts on her makeup and brushes her long blonde hair, and then she asked me, "Do I look all right?" And I said, "Yes, you look wonderful tonight," as we all know the lyrics of the song. During this period, Eric was a friend and fan of the US country singer-songwriter Don Williams, particularly admiring the lyrical simplicity of some of Williams' songs telling stories of everyday events. Pattie Boyd had written of the track, "It was such a simple song but so beautiful, and for years it tore at me. Wonderful Tonight was the most poignant reminder of all that was good in our relationship, and when things went wrong it was torture to hear it." Originally released on Eric's 1977 album Slowhand, the statistics for the song are impressive. More than 470 million downloads on Spotify, more than 490 views of the various videos available on YouTube, more than 40 billion radio plays. That's pretty mad, really. Another Eric Clapton quote here: "I'm a friend and fan of Don Williams. He had a song called She's in Love with a Radio Man, and he gave me the sticker. It was like a bumper sticker, really." Okay, so that's the reason why he has that on the side of the guitar. The large sticker on the guitar refers to the title of one of Don Williams' recordings, "She's in Love with a Radio Man," released by him in 1974. Eric attended a number of Williams concerts, appearing on stage with him in September 1976 at the start of Williams' UK tour. Recorded a cover of Williams' "We're All the Way" on the 1977 Slowhand album, and played "She's in Love with a Radio Man" during his 1978 US tour. So it was used by Clapton for both stage and studio work. The guitar can be seen and or heard on many occasions in the latter half of the 1970s, including concert at the Crystal Palace Bowl, London, 31st of July 1976. Slowhand album recorded in May 1977 and released in November that year. BBC TV's Old Grey Whistle Test, Television Theatre, 26th of April 1977, Tour April to October 1977, European Tour November-December 1978, Eric Clapton and His Rolling Hotel, an unreleased documentary filmed on the European Tour 1978, but later released in the 1980s as part of ITV's South Bank show entitled Eric Clapton, the Man and His Music. So saying the guitar went everywhere with him. The guitar was sold by Eric at Christie's to raise funds for his Crossroads Centre charity Antigua as Lot 96 on the 24th of June 1999. In the original catalogue entry, Clapton described this Martin as his chief guitar throughout the 1970s. He said that this guitar was very important to him and that he was never separated from it during this period. Later in 2000, in an interview with Mike Rano, Eric described some of the emotions evoked in him by the auction and by the sale of this guitar in particular. "We were in rehearsals in LA when the auction was going on, and VH1 set up a little internet feed so that we could watch on the TV. There were 3 or 4 guitars that actually got to me, but the 2 that really did were an acoustic Martin, which was not an expensive guitar, and it had a sticker on the side which said, 'She's in Love with a Radio Man.' I'd had that since the 1970s, and that guitar went everywhere with me. During the auction, the guys were all around me and I felt myself starting to cry. The same thing happened with the older brown Stratocaster because that was the Layla guitar, you know. I think that's what made the auction a fairly significant event, because everyone knew that those guitars were important to me. They can never really know how much, but there's no doubt, and I'm never blasé about that kind of thing, that they were. I think that's what gave this event its importance. 2024 marks the 50th anniversary of the notable guitar, and other than the several pickup configurations that have been used, the instrument is in remarkably good original condition with no replacements or refinishes. Naturally, it does bear the marks of much use by Eric Clapton, particularly in the wear to the parts of the fingerboard and the burn marks to the headstock due to his habit of placing a cigarette under the strings whilst playing. Eric's close association with Martin guitars was honoured by the manufacturer C.F. Martin & Co. with the introduction in 1996 of an Eric Clapton Martin acoustic model Treble O or Treble 042 EC, limited to just 461 examples. It sold out almost immediately in 1996. Martin then produced its Treble O 28 EC Eric Clapton model acoustic. It has remained a popular model ever since, with over 17,000 sold since its launch. So there's some literature there, which is 6 String Stories by Eric Clapton, Genesis Publications, Wonderful Today, Autobiography of Patty Boyd, etc. The Mike Hirano interview, you can see all that, and thanks to guitar technician Steve Clark. And there is also some kind of additional bits from Tony Bacon speaking about Eric Clapton and Martin guitars. Tony Bacon obviously quite well known for some of his books on guitars. Not sure if we want to go so far into that, because we've already kind of gone fairly far, but it looks like there's a few other kind of stories here that you can also read about, or maybe there's interviews as well, so you can probably find out a bit more about it. But I thought it was just quite an interesting and rare guitar, so I thought I would just quickly cover that and just give a bit of information. So maybe we'll just have a quick final look at the pictures again, going backwards this time. There we go, we see that bumper sticker again. A few more details, really nice quality photos for sure. So I'll just go through all of these. Definitely a real important part of history, this guitar. So interesting to see it come up for auction. Be curious to know how much it sold for actually the first time in 1999. I'm not really too sure, to be honest, but I'm sure it's a lot less than what it's going for now. So in any case, I just wanted to cover that quickly, so I thought it was quite interesting. So yeah, Eric Clapton Martin guitar up for auction, the guitar that he used to compose Wonderful Tonight. If you're interested, link in the description. Thanks a lot for watching, really appreciate it. Catch you next time. Bye.